We have here a game with Pedersen.
Yeah, it was almost a decisive game for our team. I mean, we had to try to win the game to have a very good chance to take a medal, bronze medal, silver medal, gold medal. It depends. I mean, everything depending on the results. What happened in the Russians games, ours, and Dutch game, I think, and the Danish game. I mean, we played
They
against
were
the
Danish.
Danish team. Yes. Pedersen was their best player in that.
So
in
here
that
you
time.
played. You played
I
with
played
white.
with white. Yes, we have a Sicilian. Finally, a very sharp position, and finally, white tries to attack, and black also. I mean, everybody wanted to attack, somehow. Bishop g5. This is the Richter-Rauser variation with bishop g5, and knight bd7 is a little bit unusual because after knight bd7 it's possible to play like this with the second bishop on the c4. I mean, to have transposing some other kind of variation. Normally after e6 or knight c6, they are the normal two moves. We have some other kind of position where white can't play with both bishops, who have both bishops and very strong position, like in our game.
Now.
Bishop g5 and bishop c4 is normally the best positions for both bishops, and white has already very good attacking chances here. So bishop c5 and knight, queen a5 is already a little bit also provocative like this.
Attacking the bishop here.
Yeah, attacking the bishop, and now you have to decide what to do, with white. How to continue? Queen d2, of course, no? Queen d2 because he wanted already, by attacking the bishop, by attacking also the pawn from e4. I mean, if you didn't play queen d2, he had time to take with the knight in e4, and black has very good game.
Yeah, so, because this knight was pinned.
Yeah, it was pinned, and he had time. If you play badly, you give the possibility to take immediately e4. But of course, okay, castle, and we have a normal position. White has very, very nice attacking chances, and we see what happens in the next moves. Black is trying to counter-attack on the other side. b5 is normal, of course. Bishop b3. And then bishop b7. Okay. So, and here I played I think f3, or what did I play? F3 or rook a1?
Rook
a1.
a1.
Yeah. Very good move, because now if you play already b4, which is okay, it's a normal move. After b4, knight d5 is, like in any Sicilian, is already almost winning in every position. I mean, you give the piece, but you have a crushing attack with white. Yeah. So bishop b7 is a little bit more quiet like this, normal move, no? And now f3. Now it was already possible maybe to have the surprise before, and now with the bishop in e7, it doesn't win immediately, so that is the difference.
So the sacrifice doesn't...
Yeah, if you sacrifice, then the bishop is already there, and maybe black somehow can escape,
Yeah.
So f3 is a very good move. Knight c5, okay, and now again king b1 is a normal move, very good in any position from Sicilian. In any kind of position, king b1 is always a good move,
Right, because
you have the king in a safe position, and you wait, and now again, if he plays b4, you can play more quiet, knight e2 and knight c1 and so on. Or you can, if you want, to sacrifice again in d5. This is the alternative. So black played queen b6, a little bit more. It was already in this kind of position. You want to play an end game. I mean, the idea, for instance, if you play instead of queen from a5 to b6, a big mistake was already to play immediately castle.
Why?
Yeah, if you have the queen in a7, in
a5,
and you play here castle.
Yes.
Castle is already very bad because comes immediately knight d5 and wins.
Knight d5?
Knight d5, yeah. Now with the king in b1, is no check anymore if he takes in d2. And if he takes in d2, he loses at least a piece with knight takes e7 check, and then he will capture the queen.
Oh, the queen is hanging here.
Yeah, and now he has to go back in d8, and the attack is terrible. You take in e7, you have already 2 bishops, and the knight from f6 is pinned. The position is almost lost for black already, and has another weakness on d6. Very bad position for black.
Yes.
Yeah, you continue the attack, and now counterplay at all for black in any kind of position. So therefore, queen b6 was more or less the best move. Queen b6. Okay, now white continues on the other side to see, if you attack, we'll have attacking chances. g4. Now we prepare to attack again.
Yes.
Yeah. Rook fc8, bishop e3, a5. Okay.
Now it's like a race. Who will
Now
get
it's a
first?
race. Who comes first? Like this.
Yes, to the king.
g5, a4. Okay, now everybody wants to attack. We'll see what happens. Takes. He has to take. I mean, he sacrificed a piece, but he wants to take back the bishop from b3, and he has maybe a good counterplay with black, if he has time.
He sacrificed a piece because you also have no
forced,
space.
Yeah, he is forced to give a piece. If
Yes.
he doesn't sacrifice, then is even worse.
But there is no escape for the black.
It's not at the first. If you look at the position, it's no escape
bishop.
for the white bishop.
Yes.
But white moves here, and therefore he has very good attacking chances again.
You
Takes,
sacrifice.
of course. Now, again, everything is forced. You can't take back in e6 because you lose the queen, of course. No.
Yes.
It's pinned. No. a3. That was his idea, his hope. The move a3. If you play b3, then the diagonal again is very strong for black.
Yes.
The diagonal from f6 to c3 has some attacking chance somehow. But of course, you don't move, and you play knight d5 immediately. Knight d5. He has to take. No. And now queen takes, and that is very unpleasant for black because the threats are almost decisive in every position. King h8, and now the attack is terrible. Everything is forced here after e5. Because now, if you take with the bishop in e5,
yes.
After bishop takes c5, you lose at least a piece, maybe more.
Yes.
Because the bishop is hanging in e5. If you take back with the pawn, if you don't take back with the pawn, you lost already the piece.
You take
bishop
here.
takes. If you take with the rook, if you take like this, you lose the bishop.
You lose the bishop.
If you take with the rook, you lose at least a piece because I take back in c5 with the knight. And afterwards, you lose also the bishop from e5.
Yes.
Position is completely destroyed. Takes, and takes in e5. Rook, extra rook for white.
Yes.
Yeah. So after this move e5, which is very, very strong, black, in my opinion, is already lost. Forced win for white. He took there, and now this is again very unpleasant because it was made threat already in h7. We moved again the initiative on the other side.
You mean?
I could win in any position. I could take in c5, in d6. I could take in c5. Everything wins. But this is the most beautiful one, the way I played. Rook h1, rook a4 is probably the best move, and now the only move. And now after taking in d6, we have the same threats, and we have also the pawn from d6 with terrible threat to play d7, queen later on.
Yes.
Okay, now the last hope, to give a check in b2 is no danger at all here. Even if you let him take in b2, is okay for white, because you go back to a1 and you win. You win at least a piece. Okay, we took a piece. Takes to take, and finished. And now bishop f6. It seems, if you look like this, that black has a little hope, somehow.
Yeah.
But
you threaten a checkmate here, right?
Well, but white moves. So takes with check, has to take, no?
Yes.
Check, and now if you go to g6, is mate immediately in h5. After king to g6, queen h5 mate, you know.
Yes.
So
yes.
he has to go back to g8, and now knight
The king is
d4
coming.
check.
Yes.
Yeah, knight d4 check, you know. And he resigned, of course, because
Yeah, he resigned.
after king f8, you can take the queen, but it's even better to give mate in h8, no?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, again, very beautiful game, but, you know, a typical Sicilian. Everybody tried to attack, but as, you know, as always, white comes first, you know, Sicilian. You know, if he plays well, I mean.
So if the blacks.
No, he is mate already.
Yes.
Yeah.
But in Sicilian, usually is a good
Well,
attacking is a
after the opening, usually.
Yes.
After the opening, in the first 20-25 moves, there is always a, you know, tactical danger for black. If he survives the opening and the first, you know, part of the tactical, you know, middle game, then black already can survive and has good counterplay in Sicilian, you know. And usually he wins later on in endgame. But until the endgame in Sicilian, it's
more
very,
danger
very
for
long
black.
way. Yeah. You can lose very quickly in Sicilian with black in 20-25 moves, like here, you see.
Yes.
It's a typical example. What can happen in Sicilian. And it happened. Yeah, it happened.
Nice.
Yeah, beautiful game. Very beautiful.
True.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Gheorghiu.